Today I want to talk to you about a 51-year-old man by the name of Christopher Howell. Mr. Howell was handcuffed and beaten to death in his jail cell. The officers who caused the beating was not the only officer there. There were two other officers that witnessed the event going on and did nothing to stop Mr. Howell from being attacked. There was an inmate who came forward and said that Mr. Howell had his neck broken. And that's just from what he heard at the facility. This happened at the Lake Correctional Institution near Orlando, Florida. And this is not the first time that this institution has been named in human rights violations. This is a facility that is involved with having their corrections officers violate human rights all the time. There are multiple accounts of people filing grievances against these said officers. Now, a year ago, there was a video that was uploaded to YouTube. It was recorded on a cell phone that was illegally brought into the facility, and multiple officers were captured beating the head of a man who was laying on the ground. This is not something that just happened one time, 2 times, 3 times. This is something that is ongoing. The facilities protect their officers. There's no different from officers who are out in the street. Something needs to be done. Protesting, it's making a change, but it's still not enough. We need to stop voting into positions of power the people that oppress us as, regular people. This man was in jail because he stole an $8 folding knife from Home Depot and then decided to go to a Target store, and he stole 4 $15 phone chargers. When the employee approached him, Mr. Howell let him know that he had a knife on him and produced the knife, which had the blade showing. And that is why Mr. Howell was in prison. He had a 4-year prison sentence, and he had served less than 2 years at the time of his death. Now, there was a woman who came forward and talked to the Miami Herald. She did not want to give her last name. She wanted to be known as Cynthia because she feared retaliation against her husband. Her husband has recently been transferred from the Lake Corrections Institution, and she still keeps contact with 2 of his friends that were in there, one of which called her on Friday to let her know that Mr. Howell had filed grievances against the officers up to a week before his death. Coincidence? I don't think so. I think this was retaliation for his complaints against these officers, and they just decided they were going to handle it then and there. They handcuffed him, and they beat the shit out of him. They broke his neck, and he died at a local hospital on Friday. This needs to be put out there. This needs to be shared. This needs to go viral. People need to know that this is going on, and it's not just this facility, it's all of the facilities. All of the facilities have complaints against them because their officers violate the rights of the inmates. This is not a new thing. Police officers and corrections officers, they're all one and the same. They're all protected by their unions. These 3 police officers have not been fired. They have not been arrested, even though the Department of Corrections in Florida put out a statement saying that they could face being fired or being arrested. It has not happened yet. They are on administrative leave, which means that they are still getting paid. They're getting paid. They witnessed a man and they killed a man, and they're still getting paid. Why?